Hey everybody, getting our video out. Had a really good question from a patient earlier today, and they've been on that never-ending cycle of tight muscles, stretch, and then stretch some more, but they say they've never been able to keep their mobility. So they asked me a question straight up. They're like, do I really need to stretch as much as they say? So let's talk about it at the whiteboard. So do you really need to stretch more? We are plagued as a society with this idea that if things are tight, we need to stretch them. I've gone in other videos in depth about why muscles are tight and everything like that. But the most common cause for a tight feeling muscle is what's called adhesion. Adhesion is like glue that gets inside the muscle. So it makes the muscle weaker and less flexible. So if you think of the muscles, all they really have to do is stretch and contract. What happens over time with poor postures, overactivity, and just sleeping in bad positions, these muscles get overworked and they don't get enough oxygen. When they don't get enough oxygen, they actually develop this adhesion, like that glue that gets inside there. Now the adhesion gets in there and takes up space, and it makes the muscle less flexible. So people inherently feel a tightness in there, so they try to stretch. They do these yoga classes, they do mobility, they do all these stretches, and they do get this window where it does feel looser. So why does this happen? What happens is this adhesion is almost like taffy that builds up, and the more you warm it up, it starts to stretch and stretch and stretch a little bit more. So you actually get this window where you have better mobility. So a lot of these systems out there, they give you this window of mobility, but the problem is you go right back to where you start because that adhesion is back in there. As soon as that muscle cools down, it goes right back to the start. You're back down on the mat trying to stretch out the hamstrings and feeling lost and feeling like you're never going to get to where you need to go. And then you just start to blame yourself. You're like, maybe I should dedicate another 10 or 15 minutes to stretching or do some yoga. The problem isn't you. The problem is actually the muscle itself. Adhesion is plaguing us as a society, but the problem is you can't stretch it, you can't roll it, you can't jam a lacrosse ball in there. What you need is an expert that can get in there with their hands and actually break down the adhesion. So as you break down the adhesion, what happens is that muscle does become healthier, it becomes stronger, and it becomes more flexible, and it stays that way. So I've seen with so many of my patients with tight hamstrings or tight muscles, when we get in there and clean up all the adhesion, they don't have to stretch as much. Their muscles are healthier, they're more flexible, they're more pliable. So if you're on that never-ending roller coaster of stretch, and then stretch some more, it might be time to figure out what's really going on and have someone evaluate you for adhesion. Hope you guys are having a great day. We'll see you guys later.